and Teyana.
Nobody thought Teyana would ever come clean, but one quiet night, she sat down, turned on her camera, and shattered every lie with just a few words. For so long, she wore the mask so perfectly that even the closest eyes couldn't see the cracks underneath. For months, rumors swirled through group chats and whispers behind her back, fans spinning wild theories about who the real father might be, but she always managed to keep her calm face on, her soft answers ready. Now, there was nowhere to hide. Her shaky voice and red eyes told everyone exactly what they'd been dying to know. It wasn't a big talk show reveal, it wasn't a paparazzi slip. It was her, raw and trembling, choosing to break the illusion with her own hands. And the second her confession hit the screen, every timeline, every feed, every private circle flipped upside down in an instant. For months, she'd been sitting on this ticking bomb, holding her story so tight it nearly broke her ribs from the inside. She laughed in interviews, brushed off messy questions about the baby's timing, about the rumors that kept scraping at her calm smile. She posed for pictures with Iman, her hand on her belly like a seal of a perfect family that wasn't as perfect as it looked under the flash of cameras. Behind those doors, though, friends say the mask slipped every night, calls at 2 a.m. when the walls felt like they were closing in, angry whispers over text threads she'd delete before dawn. Insiders always said the timelines felt off, too many quick trips, too many late returns, too many photos that caught Aaron in corners nobody was supposed to see. But Teyana clung to the lie like it was the only rope she had left to pull her through. She told the world the baby was Iman's, that their love was strong enough to drown out gossip. And Iman played along, nodding at interviews, posting half grins and soft captions while his gut twisted with questions he didn't dare say out loud. But the truth stayed hidden in the gaps between them, waiting for the right night to come crashing out. It didn't need a press tour. It didn't come from a leaked text or a grainy photo slipped to the blogs. It came from her, alone in her living room, a single lamp on, her face half in shadow as she hit record on her phone. Sources say she cracked open because she couldn't breathe under the weight of it anymore. Too many nights pretending her life was whole when it was built on sand. Too many smiles and mirrors that couldn't hide the fear in her own eyes. So she pressed record, voice quivering from the start, no fancy edit, no filter to soften what she was about to do. She held old ultrasound pictures like a shield, her hands trembling as she whispered the words nobody thought she'd ever say. "I lied," she said, voice breaking. I knew the baby wasn't Iman's. I thought if I could protect him from the truth, maybe we'd stay whole." Fans swear she stopped mid-sentence to wipe tears, her shoulders shaking when the truth broke through her careful calm. She talked about regret, about fear, about how she thought hiding it would save everyone but ended up blowing their world apart instead. And when she hit post, the truth was out there forever, a wildfire she couldn't take back no matter how many times she whispered sorry. Iman didn't hear it from her lips in private. He didn't get a warning or a gentle explanation. He found out like the rest of the world, staring at a flickering screen while her shaky voice ripped open every soft promise they'd made in the dark. Insiders say he watched it once, frozen, the words rolling over him like a storm he couldn't outrun. Then the rage came, loud and sharp, his phone hitting the wall so hard the screen split open like his trust just did. This was the man who stood by her when rumors popped up before, who brushed off late-night gossip with a laugh that hid how much he wondered if any of it was true. Now, the man who told the world she was his rock looked like a fool, the face of heartbreak painted across a million memes before he'd even figured out what to say. For hours, nobody heard from him, calls unanswered, messages bounced back in silence while the internet tore through the story like vultures. Friends say he's done for good. The lawyers are lined up, the house is half-packed, every trace of Teyana's smile wiped off his socials like she never existed. But the silence hides more than rage. It hides a man broken in places he thought she'd never touch, trying to figure out how to stand when the lie he built his future on just turned to dust. Then there's Aaron, the name that danced around the edges of every rumor for months, the man who never confirmed, never denied, just waited. The moment she said the words, every eye turned his way, screens filled with his face, old blurry shots of him in her orbit suddenly looking like smoking guns. He didn't say a word. No clever tweet, no shady post, just silence that roared louder than any statement could. Some people swear he knew all along, that quiet conversations in hidden corners were his way of standing by while she gathered the nerve to blow up her own life. Others say he's furious, that he never wanted the lie, that it made him look like the backdoor villain in a story he never asked to be part of. Nobody knows for sure. His team's on lockdown. No leaks, no comment, just lawyers drawing up papers to stake his claim in a story he can't avoid now, even if he wanted to. Meanwhile, old pictures are crawling back to the surface. Him and Teyana hugging behind tents at festivals, whispers and side eyes that mean 1,000 times more now than they did then. Whether he's ready or not, the man in the shadows just stepped into the fire. The internet did what it does best. It exploded. One shaky video of Teyana, tears rolling down her face, was all it took to bury every timeline in edits, reaction threads, and hot takes. Clips went viral, splicing that moment of heartbreak with old interviews where she claimed her family was untouchable. The contrast was electric. Screenshots of emotional texts circulated like ammunition in WhatsApp groups. Fan accounts dug through years of past photos, searching for hidden clues nobody had noticed before. And memes? They hit fast and brutal. Iman's broken phone, Aaron's stoic silence, Teyana's trembling hands, turned into punchlines that cut sharper than laughter, birthed overnight by social media's appetite for tragedy. The reactions splintered. Some hailed her as brave, someone with the iron-willed courage to break her own heart in public, to stand on national display while people sifted through the pieces of her life. They admired her vulnerability, believed it was real, powerful even. Others labeled her ruthless, a master manipulator who treated two men like pawns, only to crumble when their chessboard crashed down. But across the board, one truth resonated. No one will ever see that baby's smile again without wondering what's lurking behind it, what shadow this mess of secrets has cast over every picture and memory. So what happens next? The ghost on every feed is how this unfolds in real life. Insiders whisper that Iman has wasted no time. The man who once guaranteed forever is reportedly in touch with attorneys, pulling every legal lever to erase her from his narrative, and possibly the child's. Custody discussions are already in motion, and sources say they'll bring every private argument into court records, from who paid for what school supply to which night she texted him at 2 a.m. If custody is on the table, child support is sure to follow, turning daily life into a legal battleground where every photo, every bank deposit, every word in a voicemail becomes evidence. In the background, Aaron is getting ready, too. Word is he's lining up a team, collecting proof to show he's been more than just a name in a tabloid rumor mill, that has been stepping up quietly, subtly, behind the scenes. Outside cameras he's calm, focused, a dad in hoodies and soft smiles. Inside legal documents, though, he may become a contender for fatherly stability, a move that could change the stakes entirely. And then there's Teyana. She's caught in the tornado she unleashed. Calls are pouring in, press offers, friendly advice, distant sympathies. Her phone buzzes non-stop, and she's only answered once or twice. Messages flood her inbox, some urging her to stay strong, some hurling hate faster than she can delete them. The split screen of support and judgment is crushing. Sources say she's holding out, perhaps preparing another video, maybe even a sit-down confession to peel back the layers she left untouched. But even that might not be enough. Confession by itself is no longer currency. People want secrets, new allegations, seismic revelations, DNA truth bombs, private phone clips, messages he never meant to forward. And the paparazzi are already circling. Insiders claim photographers are staking out homes, waiting for the moment Aaron steps out carrying a child in his arms, a visual manifesto they believe could complicate any custody argument. One photo like that, they say, could level the playing field in the public eye, and the courtrooms won't be far behind in noticing. Each day brings a new pressure point. Iman's legal moves echo in ether. Every court plan warms the rumor mill. Aaron's silence teases a reveal. Every still of him by her side is fuel for speculation. And Teyana? Every untold part of her story feels like a bomb on a timer. She's the one they are waiting on, destined for another video, maybe a written statement, maybe something more public, more final. But even she knows it might not shut the door. Because in a world where trust once shattered never glues back, confessions just invite the hounds back for more. Facebook threads argue, comment sections split, and every timeline fills with collages of faded smiles and fresh scars. The fairy tale is dead. What remains is a storm, an ongoing spectacle that drags private pain into public view. What kind of storm? It's impossible to say yet. Sometimes storms burn out. Sometimes they crash through cities. But this one's building wind. One slip, one unintended screenshot, one misplaced word. And the next explosion could be bigger than this one ever was. The real drama isn't adding to your feed, it's about to walk out of the camera's eye. It's about legal files, hidden texts, custody forms, private cots. It's about choices that happen off-screen but echo across public personas. And it's about how two men, and one brave, fractured woman, are forced to play roles on a global stage they never auditioned for. In the end, no theory threads, no memes, no likes will rewrite it. The final act depends on what they, Teyana, Iman, Aaron, choose to expose next, legally and publicly. Until then, the fairy tale is gone. But the storm? It's just waking up. So who's really the one we should blame? The woman who hid the truth so deep it almost swallowed her whole? The man who trusted so hard he didn't see the cracks under his feet until he fell through them? Or the father who stayed quiet until silence made him the villain in a story he never fully owned? Maybe they are all broken. Maybe they all carry pieces of a lie too heavy for one pair of hands to hold alone. Drop your wildest theory down below. Is this the whole story? Or just the first secret in a line of truths waiting to burn what's left to the ground? Smash that like if you want every screenshot, every secret call, every leaked message before the headlines twist it. And if you're not here when the next truth drops, you'll be the last to see who's left standing when the dust settles. This wasn't just a lie, it was a confession that cracked a perfect life wide open. Stay locked in, because the next secret won't just break hearts, it'll break everything they built to hide behind.